1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 ba 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 da 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 boom ba ba. Pipe dreams. That's the closest I'll ever be to a rock star. Unlike these guys. But I do have my skinny rock star pants on. Actually, those are running tights. I just went for a run a little bit ago. So if you've been seeing the videos I've been uploading here the last couple of days. Alright, hold on. You know what? That proves the point. I'm going to get to it here, Throwback Theo. I'm calling you out. Once I catch my breath. And I'm in shape. I'm fit. I train. I don't just exercise. I train to compete in 5K road races. And I'm 48. I'm not 60 like John. Which one is he? Oh, he's over here. Being Mr. Alpha over here. Hey, don't worry. We all know Richie's an Alpha too. It's a shame he had to prove it, but whatever. There's hope someday. Okay, so here's the deal. Had an amazing spring break. My family and I. Very busy. Went to the Cherry Blossom Festival in Washington, D.C. the first weekend of break. Went to the D-Day Memorial in the middle of it, down there in Bedford, Virginia, on a Wednesday. Son had 2 football games, 2 karate practices, a football practice, and 2 guitar lessons. And then we topped it off this past weekend by going to Raleigh, North Carolina, to see Bon Jovi in concert. And it was great. There's a major significance to my wife and I in our relationship, like so many Bon Jovi fans, couples out there. Who doesn't have a Bon Jovi story, right? Not sponsored, but this is Boost. If you want to know one of the secrets of the beast, it's good for recovery, especially as you age. Almost 50 now. Need more protein than I ever have in life so my muscles can repair after training and whatnot. So anyway, so when my beautiful bride Dearly and myself and our little boy Daniel, after he was born, lived in the Philippines, we used to listen to Bon Jovi all the time. We had a disc. They call them DVD tapes in the Philippines, but it would be like a DVD, I guess, and a little DVD player. That's all it played was DVDs. We'd watch his Live from London concert over and over and over. And Air Supply. We listened to Air Supply all the time. And we called them our Digos dreams, because we lived in a city named Digos. And we were so poor. We were so down and out. Our rent was $75 a month, and most times I didn't have it. And I'd have to go beg the landlady. And I've told you a story about her before. Irene. Wonderful woman, wonderful old Filipino lady. She'd always say, it's okay. And we'd always pay her. We weren't always on time, but we always did pay her. But we didn't have enough money to eat. We were doing all we could to feed our kid, to make sure he ate, always going to bed hungry. But we were living on a prayer. And we would tell each other, we just remind each other, we had to hold on. We gotta hold on to what we've got. And we'd watch that, and we'd have these fantasies, these dreams, and we'd say, we're gonna make it. We're halfway there. Because you know what? Just suiting up and showing up is part of it. Is just half. Winners, they show up. Okay? That means make an attempt. Don't just sit on your butt and say, well, we're not where we want to be. This sucks. Get up and get to where you want to be. Start moving. Took us many years to do it. But we had this dream of come to America. And Dearly one day she said, could you imagine we make it to America and we can go see Bon Jovi in concert? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Now, mind you, I'd already seen him a few times before I was over there. But I never thought I was going to get back to America again. We were so down and out, let alone go to concerts, this kind of stuff. Well, it happened. Fast forward, 10 years later, here we are. Had the ability to go a state away and spend a night in a nice hotel to go see the band and make the dream come to fruition. What was it like, the experience? It was amazing. It was marvelous. My wife cried for like the first half of the concert. She cried for many reasons. I told her she got to experience what the word cathartic means. Cathartic is when an art form brings you, you have a very strong emotional reaction to art, often and most times bringing you to tears. Well, she had that from hearing the band play live, but just remembering, I was remembering it too, when we had this big old 11-year-old kid with us who's like now the starting quarterback on his football team and the team captain, who used to be this tiny little baby. He was so pudgy he couldn't even roll over, and he'd just lay on his belly on an air mattress we had and watch the DVD of Bon Jovi live in London. He'd bounce up and down like this, and we'd bounce him on the air mattress. Well, now he's sitting there watching this band live. So the dream, it came true. We made it happen, and we put the videos on the channel here, as most of you have been seeing, most of you have been watching. And I've had confirmation yet again that the human race is a bunch of critical assholes. Listen, John Bon Jovi is 60 years old. It's clear he did permanent damage to his vocal cords, this whole region right here. Let me tell you something a lot of folks don't understand about singers. They're athletes. Singers are athletes, okay? They might not use their legs like a runner. They might not use their arms like a bodybuilder. They don't hit a ball, catch a ball, or throw a ball, but this region right here, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, the lungs, I guarantee you the good singers run. I know John Bon Jovi runs. He used to do road races. I remember seeing that in magazines years ago. Did he sing the way he sang when he was 30? Absolutely not. I saw him when he was in his 30s. The first concert, Bon Jovi concert I went to was, I believe, 1996. 06, 16, I'm 24, it's like 26 years ago. He said during the concert this time that he signed his first record deal 39 years ago. So he's this shy of 40 years worth of performing and making records. And he's still out there doing it. He's 60. And I'll tell you this, physically, he put on as much of a show on that stage at 60 as he did when I saw him when he was in his 30s. The dancing, the jumping up and down, the electrifying the crowd. But yeah, it was obvious his voice might not be what it used to be. So, is it time to get all critical, like Throwback Theo? Absolutely not. Throwback Theo. Why am I calling back Throwback Theo? Well, I'm basically calling out an entire group of people. Some people call them Monday morning quarterbacks. The guys that sit around and talk about how their team should have won the game if they'd have only done this. If that quarterback would have... Yeah, here's the thing, just for an example, UVA, go Who's Go, lost to Virginia Tech in football again this past year. Our head coach, Bronco Mendenhall, who's gone now, he left. Thank you, Bronco, for the time you spent with us, and it was incredible what you did for this program. But he called a play going into the half. UVA was up by a score. He was trying to put Virginia Tech away early, and he called a play that didn't work out. Virginia Tech ended up getting the ball back and scoring going into the half with a tie, or we were only up by 2. Everybody criticized Bronco Mendenhall for that play call because it didn't work. If it had worked, they would have said the man was a genius. That's just how it works. So we've got these Bon Jovi videos up there, and most people, our long-term followers are saying, oh, thanks for posting these videos. I remember them. They're my favorite band too. Wish I was there. It's great. We appreciate you. And it's not that we don't appreciate the people who are critical. But listen, what have you done? What have you done, and what are you doing now? Let me tell you about these Monday morning quarterbacks, or Throwback Theos, who I'm going to get to here in a minute. You can use psychobabble terms like crab mentality. Crab mentality. I've talked about that before. They're the people who have never really done anything, mostly because they just lack ambition. They lack drive. They just aren't go-getters, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Most people, sadly, are like that. But most of them don't judge others who have gone out and done things, or have gone out and attempted to do things even though they may have failed and not succeeded in what it was they were trying to do. I have always had more respect for somebody who made an attempt, an honest effort attempt, and failed than people who have never even tried, but want to critique everybody who has, whether they've succeeded and should have done it this way and they would have succeeded more, or failed and therefore is criticized or are criticized for having failed, and if they'd have only done this, they would have made it. Well, again, I go back to my original question, Throwback Theo. What have you done? Well, I'm going to tell you what Theo's done. I've changed his name. But we had somebody come on and say, oh, I remember seeing them back right before they signed their label, because they're the same age as John, I guess, roughly 60. They were so great and blah, blah, blah. And then I saw them here and I saw them there. Well, but then they were very critical. And I'm not even going to get in to all the, John should retire. Bon Jovi's nothing without Richie Sambora. I would be embarrassed to be out there if I looked like that and saying, like, I wonder how Throwback Theo looks. So guess what? I did something I just have never done, but something that thousands upon thousands of people do to me regularly, because I put myself out here. I'm a social media guy, whatever. We got a few followers, few subscribers. Thanks for being here and making this possible for us. Another dream that's come true because of you. So I look at Throwback Theo, and wow, lo and behold, there he's got a picture of his first major Bon Jovi concert from back in the day. I'm guessing 1980s, man. Throwback Theo had the Corvette, and he had the mullet, and he had a shirt much like this, but instead of saying New Jersey, it said Slippery When Wet, because this album hadn't been cut yet. But Throwback Theo's shirt had been cut. It said Slippery When Wet, and he had it cut off right here like a halter top like the girls, and you could see Throwback Theo's six-pack. I mean, well, I didn't mean to do that. YouTube will probably unmonetize this video now. So anyway, man, he was buff. He looked like a rock star himself, except for that, Joe Dirt mullet going on there. But, I mean, that lasted about 18 months. We can remember that and Rat Tails. Thank God they're gone, just like grunge music. Nasty. So whatever. Looked great. I thought, man, maybe Theo's onto something here. Theo, he must have aged better than John Bon Jovi, calling John out like this. Well, I kind of creeped on the rest of Throwback Theo's Facebook page. Looked like things didn't turn out so good for Throwback Theo. Yeah, he went down there and got him a job on the dock. Union didn't go on strike, though. He wasn't down on his luck. He hurt his back about 6 months into it. Fought like hell to get his disability check for life after that, too, according to the comments he was saying about how hard he worked to get that check. So I'm reading this stuff, and I'm going through. Well, then I see Throwback Theo's photo shot from the concert he was at here recently, seeing Bon Jovi. He didn't have a Corvette no more. I don't know what that vehicle was, because all the side panels were different colors and the top was rusted off. I don't know how it passed inspection, but whatever. Got Throwback Theo there to his front row parking spot because of that. And listen, I am not being disrespectful to anybody who is handicapped or has disabilities at all. I'm just saying I could see that with his tag hanging from the mirror, he got front row parking. Well, okay, at least Theo's in the front row now. And I'm looking through the pictures and I'm like, where's Theo? Where's Theo? So I'm looking for the guy with the mullet. Well, of course, nobody has mullets anymore. So okay, he doesn't have his mullet anymore. So I'm looking for the guy, with the cut-off shirt and a six-pack. And, well, shoot, nobody even looks like that anywhere around there. Listen. And I'm not body shaming anybody, but what I saw were a bunch of people. I couldn't figure out how they fit them all in the minivan. They weren't drinking Boost because they just got back from their 5-mile morning run. They were drinking Stroh's, bros. Not sponsored. No way. I was going to say they couldn't pay me enough, but I don't think Stroh's could afford to pay anybody enough for direct sponsorship. But if you heard that Stroh's interested, hey, hit me up, brah. Got taxes to pay. So anyway, I finally identified Theo. Well, Theo. Here you're calling out a 60-year-old man who is still getting on stage every night, jumping up and down like an acrobat, running around stage like a sprinter. You saw what that did to me coming out here with my air guitar. With my air thingy. And I am fit. I'm in shape, man. I've lost 31 pounds in the last year by running 5 or 6 days a week for like more than a year now. Makes me breathe hard thinking about jumping up and down with that thing again. John Bon Jovi's getting out there and doing it every night on this tour. Okay? This is his muscle group. This is what listen, I got this shirt. This is the first concert I've ever actually spent money on to buy a shirt. I've been to a lot of concerts. I go to a lot of stuff. I never buy souvenirs because I'm kind of tight. I'm thrifty, okay? It's like I got certain priorities. I like the mortgage and food comes before the t-shirts. And even if I have extra, the stocks that pay dividends come before the t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I'm old now too, I guess. But we had so much fun at this concert, and it meant so much because me and my wife and our son were there, and it made us think of those dreams from Digo. So I bought the shirt, got my wife's shirt, got my kid. Of course, he had to get the $80 hoodie, but whatever. He's going to outgrow it in 3 days like he's outgrowing everything else, and it'll fit my wife for life. So that's great. But look, I want to show you something on the back of this shirt, Theo. These are tour dates from the European end of the New Jersey tour. After he toured through America and Canada and Asia and all these other places. Look at the dates. For 3 months, he's singing every freaking night. You do that, and that's going to cause some permanent, but you know what? He did it anyway because he gave it every effing thing he had. Every effing thing he had when he was in his prime, so he doesn't have to look back and wonder what might have been, Theo. Look at yourself. Okay, look at yourself. What might have been had you given it every effing thing you had at your thing? Or what if you didn't have a thing? Theo, you remind me of a guy who lives down the road from me. He used to come around, never done anything in his life. Went to college and that's it. It's almost John's age. It's never worked. Have other people take care of him, but he's the most critical son of a bitch I've ever met in my life. Oh, this is criticizing national heroes, athletic heroes, just always got a way to say why somebody else should have done something different. They should have done it better, mostly because they were just not nearly as smart as him because they were so stupid. Well, this guy was so smart, I guess he didn't set himself up for failure, or he didn't set himself up for success either by attempting anything, because my gosh, somebody might have had something to say about it. So it's better to cower behind your couch or down in the dark dungeon of your basement and never attempt to live a life because of what somebody might think or say. No, Theo, fortunately, the John Bon Jovis of the world get out there and they give it every effing thing they have when they're in their prime, so that 30 years later, when they're 60, out of respect, they can sell out every show they have. There were 20,000 people down there at the PNC Arena, home of the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Go, Who's go. Go, Who's go. Hey, mad props for the Wolfpack. They have, most years you never hear them, but when they're good, they are good, okay? But John Bon Jovi and group, band, Tico Torres on the drums, David Bryant such still on the keyboards, and Hugh McDonald on bass, and then a couple guys on guitar that replaced Richie for now, maybe forever, but at least for now. Those guys killed it, and they will sell out every show, and who cares if people are critical? It's not, listen, this isn't... I get it all the time on here by the vertically challenged individuals who live under bridges who make no attempts, or maybe they did make an attempt and maybe they failed. And so due to their crab mentality, how dare this guy start what he's done on YouTube with a $3 phone from Goodwill that he put batteries in to see if it even worked, and talked for 18 minutes about an annoying neighbor he ran off with a crayon. How dare he do that and succeed when I spent thousands of dollars on lighting and recording equipment and the best cameras, and I didn't even make enough, I didn't even get enough subscribers to get my channel monetized. Listen, stop going after the winners. Focus on yourself, and you'll find you can do more too. And throwback Theo, you're 60. Oh, it's too late now. It's late in the game. It's over. The hell it is. That's how John Bon Jovi and company continue to inspire. Okay? When we were teens, we needed them. We needed that living on a prayer, which we also needed to go back to in our 30s, and some of us in our 40s, to keep living on that prayer. Because we knew that, hey, it might feel like a Monday or a Tuesday right now, but someday I'll be Saturday night. You got to keep the faith. Throwback Theo never had it. Well, don't hate on those that have, and don't hate on those that do. And instead of focusing on, okay, Would you expect Michael Jordan to step onto a court right now and perform at basketball the way he performed with the Chicago Bulls when he was 30? No, absolutely not. But if Michael Jordan went on tour and just gave inspirational, motivational speeches and did a few shots and did a couple moves, he would sell out every freaking venue he went to because of the respect he garnered over the course of his career of what he did, which was change the face of basketball, okay? Like this guy and company changed the face of rock and roll. Dare to dream. Despite the Theos and the negative Neds and all those, whatever, dude, who cares? You know, no one will ever remember Theo. No one will know who Theo was 100 years from now. We're still going to be listening to this guy 100 years from now. 100 years from now. I know people will still be listening to this guy. You know why? Because I'm going to be listening to him, whether you are or not, Theo. See you for more next time. Never say goodbye. Never say. How many of you lost you know what in somebody's back seat? Listen to that.